Hello, good morning. It's Monday morning. It's Jazz. It's the West Ham Minds channel. It's the morning after another lackluster display from our manager, club, players, everything really, but largely led by David Moyes. I was about to say Sir David Moyes then, OBE, whatever. Really bad. It gets worse week by week, game by game. Since 15 months ago, he's still there. It's getting worse. Didn't think it would get worse. It's getting worse. London derbies, Chelsea, Spurs have come and gone. 1 point from those two, 1 point from three. Then, if you go back to around December, January, I think there's a great run by David Moyes where you think we lost 6-7 in a row. And he's still there. Probably the only club down there who haven't really changed anything, really. Nothing. And yeah, it's an all-time low. It's the worst West Ham United team in terms of what we're seeing on the pitch, entertainment, the style of football. It's the worst. It's worse when Sam was here. Worse than one or two other people he didn't like when they used to manage West Ham. You remember sort of Glenn Roeder, rest in peace. Avram Grant didn't have a Scooby about anything. But even in those days, we had Ibrahim Barr providing the goals, trying to play two up front. We had Scott Parker, Hammond of the Year 3 times. Even under Sam, we had Nolan. What a captain he was. We had huge leaders and personalities like Ginger Collins, Noble, Winston Reid, Andy Carroll. There's so much. I can just summarise and say there's nothing right at our club, nothing at all, from facilities to the board of directors who, don't forget, install these managers and don't know when it's a good time to actually say thank you and move them out and get the next level manager in. It's been a complete shit show, really, from all departments around the club, and the only people who will be loyal will always be here. Players come and go, owners come and go. It's the fans. And I'll never forget John Lard's words in the 70s and 80s. He just said, listen, my responsibility as a manager of this club and the way I lead my managers is just one thing, especially for the DNA of the club, and that's provide entertainment. On a Saturday, when people, the working class, the dockers, when they come and spend their hard-earned money on a Saturday, above anything else, we have to entertain them. And West Ham is good football, attacking football, one-touch football, in-your-face football, 100% drive, tackling, commitment. That's West Ham. We're seeing none of this. And what the news coming out, certainly, I mean, there isn't much to talk about in terms of on the field against Spurs, apart from the lineup came out and 8 people, I think, were defenders in that lineup, with only Bowen and Tony up front. And again, what I said was like, yeah, it looks like there's 3 centre-halves, 2 wing-backs, but no way. When you watch the previous 2-3 games, there is no ambition, no manager instructions or drive to tell those wing-backs to provide attacking width, go over the halfway line, put the crosses in, provide the service to Antonio and Bowen. There's none of that. It really is a flat back 5, as negative as anything. And that's the way he sets up at home as well as away. And then in this game yesterday, he sat with 2-3 CDMs ahead of the 5 defenders at the back. So you've got 9 people behind the ball. And I know I really give Antonio a lot of stick. I get that. But he didn't really have much service. The result, he didn't really have any impact on the game. Felt sorry for Bowen. Call him our Ox, our kind of Galactico. I don't know where he gets the energy from. I don't know where he gets the enthusiasm from. I don't know where he gets the motivation from when you set up like that and you're just running, trying to get the ball. No one's giving the ball to you. There's no chance Harley's going to get to kind of, attack those people, have a service. Nothing at all. Fight, you kind of scraps, aren't you? Just provided with scraps, really. You see that David Moyes interview, and it's just getting worse and worse. It's so bad, and what I heard, I didn't even want to watch it. But apparently, he came out with words like, the players need to look at themselves in the eyes. We're struggling to score goals. Where are these comments coming from? He sets up defensively, defensive, negative mindset. He wants the team to stay 0-0 after 70 minutes and then try to nick a goal or nick a draw. He's actually setting up his team for a draw. Most games are not. And then he's having to go at the players. You got Danny Ings on the bench, game after game, and he's never been on the pitch with two strikers. And you saw my programme. You signed Danny Ings. Listen, I'm not getting personal if you want one up front or two up front, but from a personal point of view, you're lacking goals. You've got to try something different. So even me as an amateur, I showed all of you guys that formation with Danny Ings with two up front, how it'll work. At least give it a go. Try something different. Bring the subs on. Spurs went 1-0 up. They were the first team to make a substitution after being 1-0 up before we did ours. And you're allowed to do 5, isn't it? Son came on and I told my dad he's going to score. Like most of you knew that. He scored within minutes of coming on. And then takes one striker off, puts one striker on, puts Ben Rama on, and again I didn't notice anything from him, but again that's for another show. But you can't believe it. Why would you buy? Is Danny Ings going to be utilised as a substitute by himself up front for the last 10 minutes of every game? Why didn't he put Skamaka and Ings up front together for 10, 15, 20 minutes and just try it? Put Antonio on the wing, leave Bowen up there. This Tottenham team is not as good as the Tottenham teams we've faced. Same as Chelsea. You saw Southampton do Chelsea, right? Everyone around us is winning games. And some of you were happy with 2 draws. And I kept telling you guys, draws are okay if you're winning in between. You're not. You're drawing, losing, winning, losing, drawing, winning. And if he doesn't get sacked, he's doing what I told you guys he was going to do. He's going to win one game by hook or crook, by luck, in 6. The rest he's going to draw or lose. We are in the bottom 3 now. We are in the shit, right? Before that, it was our goal differences keeping us 5th from bottom, 4th from bottom, 6th from bottom. And there's still fans out there who believe there's 3 worse teams than us. And I'm not going to fall for that. No way. I am not going to fall for that. There's comments like, oh, that club's only 5 points ahead of us. I'm like, only? Have a look at how many points we've got, which is less than 1 point per game. You think we're going to catch up 5 points overnight? Let's get real. Let's smell the roses, mate. We are in trouble. The board should have sacked him at a minimum before the World Cup. Give the new manager a month. They haven't done anything. And a few managers have now gone on to other clubs, Deitch being one of them. And again, I'm just going to say it the way it is. If he came into our club, or his name was linked to our club, most of you would have stuck your noses up at him. Like, he ain't good enough for us. And that is a fault within the fan base, right? And you can see already, there's only 3 games. He's got 2 clean sheets. He's got 2 wins out of 3, when probably Everton have had 2 wins all season before he came. He was given no money. He came in with 1 day to go before the window shut, so he's not been able to sign anyone. He's got no one up front. And look the way the players are going for brick walls for Sean Dyche. It's apparent that these players are not playing for David Moyes. They're going through the motions. And then in the press conferences, to dig them out, have a go at them, it's led to Declan Rice actually really giving an interview, which I think he wouldn't do, with the quotes coming out this morning and last night. Basically saying, in no, as clear as possible, that we want to score goals, but we're not being set up to score goals, and in such a defensive formation, we're unable to support the strikers up front. We can't give him service. The guy, David Moyes, has lost the players. He's lost the dressing room, and now our captain was. The other thing I get so angry about was Spurs throughout that game were kicking lumps out Bowen, doing 1 or 2 other things, and there was no captains, no leaders, no tough man out there to sort it out. In history, we had Billy Bonds, we've had, Repka and Neil Ruddock and Julian Dix, Stuart Pearce, Arnie, and there was no one, none of our players were going up to the referee and saying, look what's going on, or finger point, or just have a word with a Spurs player and say, listen, mate, pack that in. No one. Our players, Bone was getting clattered. There was no one protecting him. No one coming up to him. That includes Rice. Rice started to lose it. At the end of the game, it's too late, mate. And even Rice, there was 2-3 Spurs players around him, pushing him around, getting physical. And we had no one within our team to stop that. You know, if Andy Carroll, Ginger Collins, goalkeeper around that, they would have like gone in, smashed it up, had a go like, don't you dare touch our captains, you know. We got players like Lanzini, Benrahma, Emerson, Kafal. What, they're 5'8", probably weighed 9 stone. That's the team. There's no leaders out there. There's no physicality. There's no will. There's no fist pumping. There's no come on. We gotta get back in this game. It's a proper scrap. There's none of that. And it's David Moyes. 7-8 transfer windows. I think 3 or 4 of them he's bought no one. He's buying players. No one knows where they fit in. He's got bizarre comments of a Paqueta. Oh, I thought he's going to give me 10 goals, 10 assists, and then having thought about it after 6 months, maybe we need to play him in the same role he plays for Brazil. Danny Ings, amateur like me, knows you buy him to play 2 up front. Hasn't played 2 up front with him. Doesn't even start with him, right? Kehrer, time and time again, that should have been a penalty in the opening minutes when he handballed it. The guy's a calamity, mate. Second goal, I know Oggy lost his marker, but then you've got the other 9 or 10 to step in. They weren't marking no one either. You got so many numbers defending that they don't know who's picking anyone up. It's so many people in that area. They're waiting for one another. So all you got to do is just cross it in or try to put a ball through our defence, and more likely than not, you're going to go straight through like Emerson Royale, who's a very average player. He had so much time to slot that in. Incredible. I think Kafal lost his marker on the wing, went past 3-4 of our defenders, and he was straight in. Fabianski, nothing personal against him again, and he wasn't the worst culprit yesterday. He should be nowhere near our team, right? Very, very slow coming out. Got lucky in the first half. When he came out, lost it, and then Richarlison nearly slotted it in, and he kind of got back in the way of the ball to stop it going in, really. It's getting worse and worse and worse. It's like the board seem to have more focus on selling the club, and their attitude, I think, is as long as we fall from bottom at the end of the season, that's enough to get the deal done. And there's rumours coming up from McAvenny that, yeah, the manager or 1 or 2 other people wanted a centre half to replace Dawson, and the board was not willing to give David Moyes the money. And I'm not going to back Moyes or the board. I think they're both shit shows, both of them. They're both bad as each other. Moisey often very slowly doesn't give him the list. The board have been often saying, we're asking him for a list of players way before the window. He doesn't do it. He's very, very slow. Then he doesn't like most of the people they give him, and then I think Sullivan just goes and buys a few. It is a right recipe for disaster. And October's when I wanted him sacked. I wanted West Ham to have the ambition, the drive, the project, to kind of the foresight to actually sell a plan, an ambitious plan, to someone like Poch. They haven't got it in them. Any manager can be attracted, right? 10 years ago I told you Mourinho, Conte managing Spurs, I would have said no way. But somehow Daniel Levy, being so shrewd and good at talking crap, he's managed to talk these players into managing Spurs, right? We will only have a manager installed who's not at a club. We don't want to pay compensation, so people like Rafa and 1 or 2 others are probably the only ones who are more likely than coming in. And it shows on the pitch. If, like I said, if the owners go tomorrow, what legacy, what do they have to show for more than a decade, promising we're going to be all this, right? We haven't even got a ground. We've got the worst training ground in the league. All our youth is leaving. We're bottom 3. We haven't won anything. We're celebrating a season where we lost in the semi-final. When Rangers and Eintracht Frankfurt were ahead of you. Bloody hell, mate. You got to do it, right? I look back at it as opportunity lost again. Transfer windows wasted. Champions League losing out 2 points to Chelsea. Semi-final, Creswell gets sent off twice in the couple of rounds because he should not be on the pitch, and we should have bought a left back by now. How many windows does West Ham United need to sign and invest in a proper left back, a proper right back? Who are really wing backs? In the modern game, every good club, that's where your assists, your crosses, your whips coming from. Right, such an important position. It allows you to play 2-3 really interesting formations, and you can switch it on the field. We've got old style left backs and right backs, most of them signed on free transfers, or 10 million at the most, or Kafal's case 5 million there. Krasi, Grandad Krasi, it's a real shit show out there. Then you spend 53 million on Paqueta. Again, nothing personal, mate. As a club, you can't spend 53 million. And I kept telling you on a CDM, which he just become a CDM, isn't he? And what does he do? He just passes it a few inches to the left, a few inches to the right, doesn't assist anything, doesn't score anything, doesn't put any impact on the game. Can we as a club say this is the impact we want from our record signing? That money should have gone at least split on 30 million left backs and right backs at a minimum. Goalkeeping position. What the hell's going on there? Areola, I believe, is one of our highest earning people on the books. Is this what you want to do? Someone just fiddling his fingers and playing the odd cup game here and there? As an owner, when you not want to... I like to imagine that Sullivan has a bi-weekly or monthly at a minimum discussion with Moyes. What's going on with my money? What's happening with my club, mate? I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that. Give me answers. It's the same things dragging on week by week. Stuart Pearce leaves. Alan Irvine leaves the coaching. We replaced him with Warburton, Bread Company and someone else. It's an absolute shit show. Who would motivate you? You look at Warburton, you look at Moyes, and that shows you how many times they've left the dressing room, started the game with 1-0 down after 2-3 minutes. That what does that say? Kehrer, he's getting worse. He's not even improving. So where's the coaching in that? What's happened to our set pieces? We can't even take corners to beat the first man on the post. There's nothing going right at club, from defence to midfield to up front to tactics to in-game management to subs to youth to training. There's nothing going right at this club, and that usually tells you we're going to go down, right? And now, dressing room is lost. We really need to get David Moyes out as soon as possible. Get someone in. If it's Rafa, it's a Rafa for the end of the season. I don't care. I just want David Moyes out before the Forest game. We must get a new manager in before the Forest game, because otherwise a winnable game is going to be lost. A draw against Forest at home, that's a poor result, right? And players like Bowen, players like Rice, players like Zuma, they're simply going to leave at the end of, if we go to the Championship, right? I mean, I'll be there. I have not gone to many games this season because of Moyes and the quality of football. We go down to Championship tomorrow with an attractive football manager and hopefully new owners. I'll be there tomorrow. I don't care what division we're in. I'll be there, like most of the fans, right? It is such a shit show going on, and it's embarrassing playing like that against Spurs. Tools down from minute one, not even trying, and all over the media, Spurs fans are laughing in our faces, singing all those songs that we used to take the mick out of them with. It's not fair. I mean, luckily I don't really sort of go into an office or environment where there's Spurs fans, but some of you this morning, wherever you work, you're going to get it. You're going to get it thanks to our management. But I wanted to get a show out there, having calmed down a bit from last night. It's not good. It's not good, and I don't know how can it get any worse than this. How can the board? I thought he might go yesterday evening. There's no news, no rumours today. We're not linked with anyone. It's shocking. Is he going to stay till the end of the season? We simply just get relegated and the players go on to other clubs, so they don't really lose out of anything. The board, they sell the club for 500-600% profit. They got nothing to lose, and who's left with all the shit and the memories and the hurt? It's the West Ham fans again, isn't it? Newcastle, we know what direction they're heading in. Villa are improving. Everton should survive under this new solid manager. Spurs, great world-class ground, and they're doing okay. They got players that will walk into any team, that kind of thing. Arsenal, well, virtually about to win the league. City, United, 4 billion takeover from Qatari group. Liverpool will always be there, and we are just still the club with the worst luck, the worst, the way the fans are treated, and it's just, oh mate, it's just what it is. But listen, it is what it is. Please share your comments in the video and let me know how you feel, and we'll keep watching the news.